believers. We're underdogs and overachievers, but like a closed fist all together, no one can beat us. It's getting heated, all my energy's been depleted. I leave it all out on the floor because we need it. Rising to the occasion, we go in with guns a-blazing, because we all know that it's all to go and get for the taking. History making, high risk and high stakes. Where the winner takes all that he can take. No breaks, we only go hard, no taking off. Either giving to the super the strong, never the soft, not taking a loss, because we only come to win. And right after this, we coming back to do it all again. We gonna make it, even though we had our back to the ground. Building back up and we gon' be around. Yeah, it took some time to figure it out. Somehow, it's like we gonna make it.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Worldwide Laker Talk. You know, we had to hop on because, of course, the Lakers have some controversy in Lakerland mid-season. I guess it all started maybe about a week ago with Rich Paul, and we'll get into that too. But you have the information with Rich Paul, you know, talking about Austin Reeves should be traded, and now you have the article coming out talking about the rift between the Buss brothers and Jeanie Buss. Me and Quincy just wanted to get on and, you know, kind of go through it, get some of y'all thoughts on it as well, see how y'all feel about this whole thing. But let's start with the Buss family before we get to the Rich Paul stuff. What tell me, let's tell the people what's going on first, Quincy, and then tell me your thoughts.
Well, there was an article, ESPN, I forgot his first name, last name Baxter, who got some sources about be honest, the majority of the article is about the dysfunction that led to the sale of the team between the older Buss siblings and the two younger Buss boys. And of course, the part that got the most attention is probably like the smallest piece. That's the part regarding LeBron and Jeannie's feelings about LeBron and things of that nature. So, I mean, yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on unless you're sleeping up under a rock.
So how much of it do you think is true? How much you think of it is like exaggeration? Because I know some of the stuff they were talking about, like basically like her not liking LeBron and all that, but it seems like she's already come out to debunk that. Like, how much you think is sour grapes and them trying to just make her look bad at this point?
Yeah, you know what? It was crazy. Is the moment I read the first paragraph, I said, "This is Joey and Jesse." I didn't even finish. I already knew where this was coming, and you know, Joey and Jesse felt like they were betrayed. The way how things are supposed to go is once Jeannie, well, how Dr. Buss envisioned it was Jim runs basketball operation, Jeannie runs the business side. We all know how that ended up. But then eventually, once Jeannie is done, the two younger Buss boys were supposed to, you know, take over from that point on.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they felt that they never got their opportunity, and just to put some context, the four older Buss kids have a different mother than Joey and Jesse.
Right.
So there's some little, based on the article, it seemed like a lot of tension there regarding that relationship dynamic regarding the Buss kids. I think the article said, I guess Jeannie told either Joey or Jesse that you shouldn't have even been born. And so that kind of goes, that kind of gives some context to base about, like, you know, I mean, according to the article, what those perceptions are regarding their relationship. So if you know anything about the Buss Trust, you'll know that they needed a majority vote to sell the team. The four older Buss kids voted to sell the team, and of course the two younger boys voted against it. Yeah. And then Jeannie then fired him. When she fired him, was that November?
Yeah.
Yeah, she fired him in November, which I like the way how Joey ran the G League team, and I like the way how Jesse scouting department. I thought they did really well over the years. I mean, not every team gonna hit on every draft, but they really. I mean, it was Jesse who scouted Austin Reeves.
Right.
And they really hit on a couple of sleeper guys, Caruso and Zubac and a whole bunch of other guys that people had slept on that I thought his scouting department did really good. And then our G League is one of the best G Leagues in the league. So
Yeah,
I
so
thought they
many
did.
other teams have grabbed talent that's like starting on teams now from our G League.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so I thought, but for whatever reason, Jeannie fired him, and so I'm kind of not surprised that they decided that they was going to go into Operation Sabotage because she's the only bus still connected, with the
Yeah,
Lakers.
yeah,
And so for them to sit back, see that, he don't name the sources, but if you read it, it's obviously, if you've been following Lakers basketball as long as I have, it's obviously you know who the sources are.
right.
Um, so of course, then Operation Sabotage. Regarding the LeBron stuff, now I mean honestly, I don't think Jeannie felt that way about LeBron. I think they probably feel that way about LeBron.
Right.
Uh,
Or maybe there was even times when she felt that way in moments of frustration or trying to win a
yeah,
team.
yeah, but as far as their relationship, I mean, go look at what's her profile picture of her IG. It's her hugging LeBron after the 2020 championship. And I think you, like I said earlier, you have always kind of stated like she will always kind of have a deep appreciation for LeBron because that's who brought her chip as the first female owner
Yeah.
in the
Like
NBA.
I used to say, I said that is her Magic Johnson, right?
Yeah,
That is her first player to bring her a championship outside of her dad. Like that's the one
yeah,
who solidified her as an owner. And I think no matter what they go through, I think there always will be a special place with her personally because of that. Just like there was a special place with Kobe, like because people forget, there were times when Kobe asked for trades. Kobe was on random videos about the team, but that didn't change the affinity that the Buss family had for Kobe. I think
yeah,
the only person that really, really went to the doghouse with the Buss family was Shaq and Jerry West.
yeah. Yeah, and I think with the Kobe thing, that was more targeted at Jim
Yeah,
than
for
than,
sure.
than, than it was at Dr. Buss or Jeannie. Um, what kind of I just watched a Rich Paul uh response, and what stood out to me, he was referring to. He said, he said actually the Lakers have treated him and LeBron great, but he said something about that relationships have built, and some people are jealous of those relationships, and they trying to poke holes in those relationships, but it's not gonna work. So obviously, Rich Paul know who this is coming from for him to make that statement.
Yeah.
Um, I thought that statement really stuck out. He talked about how people might be jealous of relationships that was built over time, and and people being manipulative and trying to poke holes in a relationship. And he's like, but it's not gonna work. You know, um, and so that was clear. But you know what, man, it's everything else didn't surprise me. The fact that she paid Kurt Rambis and Linda Rambis doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me.
That was kind of crazy.
Yeah,
But she always looked out for them, always made
yeah,
sure they
yeah.
got the
That
job.
that 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 doesn't surprise me. Like all the other stuff. If you've been a Laker fan, none of that shit really surprised me. Not even the drama aspect. Somebody's like, "Oh, we never had this type of stuff." I'm like, "Dog, Phil Jackson and Jerry West didn't like each other." And if you go back and look at our 2000 championship, West don't even show up to the trophy ceremony.
Yeah. Let me
Because
read this comment from Ron real quick. Ron said there are three sides to every story. I believe each sibling has their perspective, and this writer chose the most articles selling takes to make a hit piece. Then he
yep.
said, and that's how a loyal child who shares a father with another feels, especially when you are from the first wife. That's all Dr. Buss' fault, as he chose to have children after the deal not to have any more, and this is his mess. Great owner, probably not so great father.
I mean, damn, Ron, but yeah, it was there's a lot of facts.
But you know, and I think, as you said, as a Laker fan, this kind of been par for the course for us for years. Like, we're kind of used to this. We've kind of, you know what I'm saying? We kind of seen this happening. But what I've seen a little different this time, most times when there were the sibling rivalries, most times where there were the bickering going back and forth and all that stuff hits the press, most times I feel like people took Jeanie's side. And what I'm seeing for the first time, I feel like she might be losing some of her stature as the, you know, the main Laker, because I've seen people who are actually like against her and what she's doing and what she's done as an owner. So I was saying, Quincy, I think the thing I feel that's a little different this time is usually Laker fans have been riding with Jeanie when it came to the gym stuff, when it came to, you know, kicking them out. And this is the first time I'm seeing some pushback from Laker fans, like, you know, Jeanie may be messing up, or, you know, they're not on her side totally. Some people siding with the younger Buss brothers. What do you think of that? What do you think that is?
Well, you know what?
That
I agree with that. I would feel the same way. When you feel the same way, it's supposed to be me and your turn when she decide that she don't want to do it anymore, and then they go and sell the team from right up under us.
Yeah, yeah.
I will. I'm not even gonna fake it. I'll be pissed.
Right.
You
Right.
know, and just think about it. We grew up. I'm talking about, like, you know, as me and you are brothers,
Yeah.
and we grew up as Laker fans. Dog, this has been our lives. And then
Yeah.
our pops give us an opportunity to work for the organization, the team we grew up watching. And now you running the G League, and I'm running the scouting, and we in meetings about trades and drafts. So we think we fit to get our opportunity when our big sister decide that she don't want to do it anymore. It's gonna be our show, and she's like, nah.
Yeah.
She go to her siblings, who they have the same mother, right? And then they vote against us, and we don't ever get our opportunity to. Yeah, hell yeah. I'm not saying they're wrong. I would definitely feel that way. So yeah, I think a lot of people see it from that way. But like I said, it's, you know, doesn't mean that the brothers can't be salty and just want to also, they,
Yeah.
you know, go
Like,
into
two
full
things can
set.
be true at the same time.
Yeah, and go into full sabotage mode on her too, because they know Walters probably look at this like, you know what, this, you know, I know Jeannie, we agreed to a 5-year deal after this, but you know what, this might be too much for my brand, and also it's not a good look, as much people don't want to say it or admit it. LeBron came to the team when nobody wanted to.
Right.
We missed the playoffs 7 years in a row. We couldn't even get free agent visits. People
Nope.
wasn't trying to come visit us.
We couldn't
So
get a Marcus Aldridge to do a visit.
yeah. And so he come to the team, and then, I mean, AD doesn't become a Laker if LeBron ain't here.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he come to our team when probably at the lowest point in franchise history. And then people kind of say, oh, so the old Lakers used to take care of their people in the end. Matter of fact, like I've said several times, I remember LeBron and D Wade giving the Lakers props of how they treated Kobe towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
And so for you know, I can see Mark Walker saying like, this might be too much and hurt my brand, and I don't think he'll fire Jeannie, but I can, if Jeannie all of a sudden decide, you know, she decides she want to move on and resign, then you pretty much know what happened.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Let's take a bird's eye view. A bird's eye view of the deal that Jeannie made. business wise, taking family out of it, taking, you know what I'm saying, all that from a bird's eye view, do you think the deal she made was a good deal though?
Oh, it was an amazing deal. It was an amazing deal. You know, that well, I think what they all got, what, $1 billion each.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, if and that's how you know uh uh that's how you know it's not about the money with the Bus Boys.
Yeah.
Like, they really wanted they shot
To
at
run
the
the team.
run a team, because you know I'll be bitter. You know, I'll be upset like, damn, I never got my chance. But you know, I'm sitting on $1 billion and I still own what they own, like 15% of the team still.
15%. Yeah, and that's kind of how I'm looking at it, right? I'm like, you mad, but you walking away with $1 billion and still ownership in the team. Like, yeah, you didn't get your shot to run it, but like, even y'all running it, y'all never would have the opportunity to make that kind of money that y'all made off of this deal, and that you're going to continue to make off of this
Yeah,
deal going
yeah.
forward.
I don't think. Like I said, I feel there. Like I said, I would feel the same way, but I don't know if I feel the saltiness to the point to where I'm just gonna like try to destroy you in the ESPN article. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know if I go that far. Now, all the other stuff that might be added, because you know, you tell me I should have never been born,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and probably some other stuff Jeannie didn't say to them. You know, according to the article, and you add that, and then you know, you remember, and you gotta look at it like this. I sided with you when Jim tried to get you. I had
yeah,
your back. You
yeah,
needed my vote.
yeah,
So I could just on the deal alone, yeah, she set them up on an amazing deal. But if you just look from like the human side, I get it. But you know, in the end, you know, we didn't work we not raised as spoiled as bus kids either. So we
yeah.
taking our $1 billion and our 50%, and we just gonna enjoy our Laker games for life, you know,
Right.
and probably start some type of other investments, you know. But I can see if you grew up in their environment, and you backed her when Johnny and Jim was taking her to court and she needed our vote, and we backed her, and we, you know what, and then you turn around and do this to me. I get it, but I don't know if I go to the extent of like, you know what, I'm just gonna just sabotage you and just try to just ruin you at this point.
Yeah. So, was there anything else that you want to talk about on this particular subject about the brothers? About
Nah. I mean that's it. You know, I think like I told somebody, when Austin Reeves come back, ain't nobody talking about this except people that hate LeBron. You know, they gon' this
yeah.
fed they confirmation bias like a Jaws movie.
So, speaking of LeBron, his agent Rich Paul has a podcast with Max Kellerman, and on this podcast with Max Kellerman, they were talking about, you know, what the Lakers should do moving forward, and he made a suggestion and said, you know, I think they should go after somebody like Jaren Jackson from the Memphis Grizzlies because he doesn't want to do a rebuild. And then so Max Kellerman said, okay, well, what does that look like? What package would you put together? And that's when he said, well, I think if you want to do the right thing, because Austin wants to get paid and the Lakers need to, you know, move forward and build around Luka, I say we would do a package around Austin Reeves and some draft picks to get Jaren Jackson in. So that caused the whole hullabaloo. A lot of people didn't like that. He, as an agent, was talking about this. What were your thoughts on it?
I
I
thought it
like
was
it personally.
I thought it was unprofessional and trash. I think Rich Paul needs to decide: do you want to be an agent or do you want to be a podcaster? Because you can't make those type of statements, and you have probably the most popular player on the same team as in the league as Austin Reeves.
Right.
You got other clients on that team, and then you have a lot of cachet and power throughout the league. So when you make those type of statements, people will take heed of that. And then also, if I'm Austin Reed's agent, don't talk. You affecting my client's bag
Right. Right.
by doing that. If Austin Reeves get traded, he loses his bird rights.
Yeah.
So you affecting my client's bag. So I thought that was weak of Rich Paul.
And I
To
think there's even a way he could have did it without being so specific. Like he could have just said, "Look, we do a trade with player A and 2 draft picks." You know what I'm saying? And we probably would have known what he was talking about. But
yeah,
if it was non-specific, I think he could have got away with it because there's a lot of times they talk about potential trades and stuff like that where you don't
yeah.
name specific players. I think that's to me that's where he messed up. I think he could have done a better job of
Yeah,
not
definitely.
talking specifics.
The Lakers need to try to get a big, like, you know, Jaren Jackson, somebody who's young, flexible, play defense. You know, a player like that would really help the roster without even mentioning about giving up nobody else. Although I disagree because I don't trust big men who don't rebound. And Austin Reeves averaged just as many rebounds as Jaren Jackson.
Right,
So the last thing we need is a big man that average 5 rebounds a game.
right.
But yeah, I didn't like the moment I heard. I was like, oh, I don't like this.
Well, because it
But
also could be seen as collusion, right? Because like you said, with all the things that he has going on in the league, all the players he have, how impressionable he is, that could be used as a maneuver when it comes to behind the scenes stuff with him doing like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because now they can like trade off of what he's saying. Let's read
yeah,
this comment from Jonathan Taylor. What up, Jonathan? I think it's time for the Mark Walters regime to begin. LeBron needs to have the same send off like Kobe did. I think the organization owes him for that. Mark Walters needs to remove Jeanie Buss. I know that part of her agreement is to be governor, but I think this is a huge distraction for the team. Honestly, I don't think you can keep her as governor.
yeah. I mean, I can't. I mean, I like Jeannie, but I could see why you feel that way.
Yeah.
You know,
And
and
also it could be, whenever LeBron leaves, I think Jeannie should leave. I think it'd be time for a full fresh start. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like let the Mark Walters regime really start the Luka era once
yeah.
LeBron is gone.
Because you remember that was the conversation that she had with Kobe when she discussed with Kobe, and this according to her, about wanting LeBron, and Kobe was the one that told her, well, if you want him, he ain't coming here while Jim running the show.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to take over.
yeah. He
And
said
so,
his actually to quote, he said, "You got to clean up all this bullshit in your house before LeBron's gonna come."
yeah, yeah, he's not coming here with all the bullshit. And so obviously she's been that LeBron was her baby as far as bringing him and getting him to the Lakers. So yeah, I think it would be fitting that after they send LeBron off, and I do agree LeBron should get a nice send off. He's been in the league, hell, damn near a quarter of a century.
Yeah,
And has stayed at playing at a pretty high damn level, better than anybody I've seen in their 40s.
yeah,
And so yeah, send them off, do the right thing to do, send them off nicely. And then yeah, I do agree that it would be nice for her to walk away when LeBron walk away.
yeah,
What
yeah. I just think
what
it'd be,
what's probably going to lead to Pelinka getting fired, because I think the only reason why Pelinka has a job is because of Gene.
yeah. And you made a good statement too in regards to Pelinka, and because I actually agree with you wholeheartedly, 100%. You said I think Pelinka does a good job targeting stars and getting the big names in, but he does not do a good job building teams around those
No.
names. He does not know how to put the ancillary pieces needed around to make sure that those people are successful. Like I think he did a decent job this summer because we said, he could try to get somebody like Marcus Smart. He got Marcus Smart to try to get somebody like Ayton. So even though Ayton ain't panning out like we hoped so far, he's not playing terrible, but just he's not
Yeah.
what we thought he could be.
We seen the inconsistency that everybody was
Yeah,
criticizing him
yeah,
about.
those inconsistencies, but he did do the things that most people saw as gaping holes, right? The thing that most people saw, I think this was the first year to me that he filled some of those holes. But the biggest mistake first was breaking up that championship team.
Yes.
because they supposed to did all that to try to have some big summer move 2 years down the line.
Well, you know about that team. I always worry that that team was built on accident and not on purpose.
Yeah.
Because you remember, all that was, you know, it was LeBron. I mean, it was getting AD and then Kawhi.
Yeah.
Then when Kawhi didn't come, we had to fill some roster spots. So
Yeah.
then we start putting in with Danny Green, and we signed Boogie Cousins, and we got all. And so it was like that team was built on accident. It wasn't purposely
Right.
built.
Crafted. Yeah.
It panned out.
Yeah.
And then Boogie Cousins got hurt. Then okay, well we gotta pick up somebody. All right, let's sign Dwight. You know,
Yeah.
it was like just things that accidentally just fell in place.
Came
But
together.
the fact
Yeah.
that it was never strategically built, kind of concerned me about Rob. But he can get the start. But when it comes to building around him, I'm kind of concerned.
Hold on, you breaking up. You sound like a robot.
I'm still sounding like a robot.
All right, you back now.
Okay. So,
But you're right.
So,
like most, I seen Dwight Howard on interviews. I seen Danny Green on interviews, basically talking about how like we should have had the chance to run it back, and there was no reason for us to not be able to run it back because our contract wasn't big, wasn't crazy. You know, they had after that they went into the failed Westbrook. Like after that, I feel like they just started making fledgling moves.
yeah. What pissed and then we start. First of all, you remember it was a quick turnaround because of the whole bubble situation. So
Yeah,
the season ended in October, and then it started back up in December. Why would you
yeah,
break up that team and think you could have built another team in 6 weeks? I never
yeah,
understood that.
yeah. Me
Just
neither.
keep that same team together.
Yeah,
And then it's like we became reactive. Okay, Kawhi and KD and Harden go to Brooklyn. We got to be reactive. You know what? We got to get another star. No, let the team build. Let teams have to like build because they want to play us, not us. And then that's how we end up making that Westbrook deal because we thinking because what Brooklyn did, we became reactive to what they did. And anytime you end up doing that, that's kind of what happened with Phoenix with Powell. We get Powell, they decide they're gonna trade for Shaq, and we knew Shaq wasn't gonna fit in Phoenix.
yeah.
But you never want to be reactive.
Yeah, and I think we were. And I think because of that, we continue to have poorly built teams around our star players. And even like, you know, as much as people got on AD head for saying he wanted a center and he wanted to play power forward, like they never even gave that a chance. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I that bothered me so much. He's constantly and the thing about it is, and I always compare it to like with Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan always made it clear to Pop. I don't want to play center. Okay, David Robinson, they would find any 7-footer to put next to Tim Duncan for him not to play center. And I
yeah,
think that's exactly what we should have did,
yeah.
especially when we had those peak AD years.
Yeah, and we saw that it worked though. Like the year that like when we had JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard playing center, it worked. Defensively, it worked. Offensively, it worked because they didn't need the ball or wasn't demanding the ball. But I think the biggest problem is where will LeBron go after that? Because LeBron can no longer play three.
Well, I think that's something the coach was gonna have to figure out, whoever the coach was, because if you go back and you look at that Phoenix series in 2021, go look at Drummond and AD stats before AD got hurt.
Yeah.
That's why we was up on them.
Mm-hmm.
Drummond and AD was a problem for Phoenix, and of course AD ended up getting hurt, but to go into like a panic mode and like okay. And seeing what Brooklyn did, and then figure, oh, okay, we need a big three. It was crazy, and they all to blame. I know they touched on that in that article, but that's LeBron's fault. That's AD's fault. That's Rob's fault. That's they at that time they all was agreeing on it. So
Yeah.
we not about to do revisionist history and blame one person for that. You know, players suggest things all the time. In the end, it's up to the GM and the owner to approve it.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Shaq told Jerry West to trade Kobe for Jason Kidd,
Right.
and he
Right.
told his ass no. He told him no. Jerry West said this boy would come back and kill us forever.
Right. Right.
So you know, it's a lot of revisionist history going on. But they are to blame for the Westbrook trade. Everybody was approving it. Westbrook showing up at houses, cigars, and you know, it didn't work out.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get out of here, any predictions for the trade deadline? What are your trade deadline predictions?
I definitely think something's going to happen, but I don't expect anything unless somebody become available that we're targeting in free agency. Because it seemed like Rob want to go into free agency with the 3 first-round picks and the $60 million in cap space, which I don't have any problem with. That's why when people say we should trade LeBron, I say absolutely not, because you're gonna have to take in contracts that's gonna impact our summer. And I think with the whole Luka Austin Reeves dynamic, they got to figure out, is that something they want to continue to build forward around, or with you want as much flexibility. So I expect I expect maybe somebody like Rui to to get traded, but I don't, like I said, unless a target that we have this summer become available. I don't really see like a major big trade, but hey, who the hell knows? Because I never thought I'd look at my phone and saw that we was trading for Luka.
Right. Right.
so, so I still can't believe that happened. So, um, you know, but I definitely think we need another defensive wing. I think how you build around Luka looking forward is you get a lot of athletic, defensive-minded wing players who can shoot about 35% or higher from three. But you
So you
gotta
said.
have one other creator because you don't want them to burn out. And so,
So you think we should trade for an athletic wing? I'm just transfer because I don't think people can hear you. Athletic wing that can shoot like 35, 37% from three. That's what you said, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know what's going on. It's like switching. You like start sounding like RoboCop, man, and then you go back to
Yeah,
normal.
okay, you better now. Okay. I think that so a wing between 6'7", 6'9", defensive minded. Uh, you know, I would love Wiggins. Wiggins would be a great fit,
Right.
but you know, Pat Riley, unless he giving us a point guard that's gonna play good on the team, but not on our team, like Nunn and Vincent. You know, they ain't trying to give us nothing, and
Right.
you know, but yeah, I think unless it's somebody, you ain't gonna see a big trade unless it's somebody we was gonna already try to sign in the summer.
Yeah.
Because it's not like that, then there's no point of bringing in somebody who has like a 2 or 3 year deal, and that impacts your money or what you want to do this summer.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, thank y'all for joining us for today's Worldwide Electric Talk. We'll be back soon, maybe possibly for All-Star break. You know, we'll come back at the All-Star break, talk about where the team is, how we looking going forward. You know, I feel like this is a Jekyll and Hyde team. Some nights we look great, some nights we look horrible, some nights we look like we just didn't give a damn about showing up. So, and
That
like
was
you said,
last night game. We gave up 71 points in the first half and 35 in the second half.
yeah, Jekyll and Hyde in one game.
Check it out.
Yeah, we a Jekyll and Hyde team, and you know, so I don't know how that's going to fare in the long run, but
No.
we'll see. Like I said, we'll come back before right before All-Star break and talk about, or maybe during All-Star break and talk about where the team is in our eyes and what we feel like the rest of the season needs to look like in order for us to make any noise. All right, we thank y'all for joining us. We'll see y'all next time.
Please believe us, we're underdogs and overachievers. But like a closed fist all together, no one can beat us. It's getting heated, all my energy's been depleted. I leave it all out on the floor because we need it. Rising to the occasion, we go in with guns a-blazing, because we all know that it's ours to go and get for the taking. History making, high risk and high stakes. Where the winner takes all that he can take. No breaks, we only go hard, no taking off. Either giving to the swift or the strong, never the soft, not taking a loss. Because we only come to win, and right after this we coming back to do it all again. Gonna make